Good morning, students. In this session today we are going to see History Unit 1 Society and Culture in Ancient Tamilagam, the Sangam Age. Students, note it carefully. Make a note of each and every important points in your social classwork note. If you have any doubt, make a note of it. The doubts will be clarified on the reopening day. Students, now let's recall the Sangam polity kingship. Sangam polity. See, students, the king was the center of the administrator. King was the center of the administrator. Kingship was common, it was hereditary. Generally, the elder son was a heir apparent or crown prince. The crown prince was called as Komahan. The Cheras, the Cholas, the Pandyas are called as Vendan. The chieftains are known as Mannan. The rule of the Vendan and Mannan existed at the same time side by side. The Sangam people considered their kings as gods. Only males were appointed as a king of the country. There were no example the rule of any women in the Sangam period. The king ascended the throne by the formal functions called Mudisootu Villa. The crown prince was known as Komahan, while the young ones were known as Ilango, Ilanjeliyan, and Ilanjeral. King held a daily darbar, that is Nal Avai. Land tax was the main source of revenue and it was called Irai. The state collected tolls and customs, sangam, tributes and fines. Kings and soldiers, heroic anklet, Veerakadal, name and achievements. The wound in the back was considered a disgrace, and there are instances of kings fasting unto death because they had suffered such a wound in the battle. The king court was called Arasavai. The king occupied a ceremonious throne in the court called Ariyanai. The king possessed an impressive court. It was called as Arasavai. Students, note it carefully. It was called Arasavai. The court was the center of the king's official activities. Usually the court was assembled on the morning. The king presided over court. It was an open court. It permitted the members of the royal families, the officials and the public to see the procedures of the court by sitting on the audience hall. In the court, the king was surrounded by officials, distinguished visitors and the court poet. The king used to sit on the throne. It was called Ariyanai. The court also gave literary discussions when the officials' programs were not heavy. Learned scholars participated in these discussions. The position of the king was very high. He was treated as God on earth. The king seldom appeared before the people. He used to appear before the public on certain important occasions. Students and also the dance performance were arranged frequently for the enjoyment of the king, the queen and the members of the royal family. The queen used to sit by the side of the king in the audience hall. The queen never participated in administrative matters. Students, they were encouraging learning, performing rituals, presenting gifts, protecting people and punishing the criminals. They played a significant role. The king was assisted by the number of officials. They were divided into Aimberankudu and Enberayam. Aimberankudu is nothing but the 5-member committee and the Enberayam means 8-member group. Students, note it carefully. The king's court was called Arasavai that is Aryane. Fivefold duties is nothing but encouraging learning, performing rituals, presenting gifts, protecting people, and punishing the criminal. The king was assisted by the number of officials like this. They were divided into Aimberenguru, that is 5-member committee, and Enberayam, that is 8-member group. Now let's see about the Sangam Polity army. The king's army consisted of 4 divisions, namely infantry, elephant, cavalry, chariot force. Students, how many king armies is consisted? Yes, 4 division. One is infantry, cavalry, elephants, and chariot force. Students, the chariot was the elite arm of ancient Indian armies in the Vedic period and also epic periods, because the advantage it conferred and the selection of plain grounds as battlefields. Chariots were highly mobile and gave an advantage over infantry and cavalry. Students, keep in mind the chief of the army was known as Thanai Thalaivan. The chief of the army was known as Thanai Thalaivan. The prominent weapons used during this period were sword, kedayam, tomaram, spears, bows and arrows. Tomaram is mentioned as a missile to be thrown at the enemy from a distance. The weapons are sword, tomaram. Tomaram is nothing but what? Yes, it is mentioned as a missile to be thrown at the enemy from a distance. The place where the weapons were kept was known as Padai Kotil. The war drum was worshipped as a deity. They worshipped the drum as a god. Students, note it carefully. The 4 divisions of army are infantry, cavalry, elephants and chariot force. Army means nothing but Padai. Army chief means Thanai Thalaivan. They use the weapons like sword, kedayam, that is shield, tomaram, lance, spears, bows and arrows. The place where the weapons were kept was known as Padai Kotil. The forts were protected by deep moats and trenches. The war drum was worshipped as a deity. Now let's see about the Sangam polity, law and justice. The king was the final authority for appeal. The court of justice was called Avai. The king was fountain of justice during the Sangam age. There were law courts in the urban and in the rural areas. In the capital town, the court of justice was called Avai. And in the villages, Mandram served as a public place where simple justice was noted out. In civil cases, the methods of trial followed was to call upon the plaintiff to thrust his hand into a pot containing a cobra. If the cobra bite him, he was sentenced. If the cobra did not bite him, he was considered innocent and acquitted. And the punishments was also severe. Execution was ordered for the thief cases. The punishment awarded for other crimes including beheading, mutilation of offending limbs of the body, torture and imposition of fines. Let's see the laws and justice. The king was the final authority for appeal. In the capital town, the court of justice was called Avai. In the capital town, the court of justice was called Avai. In the villages, Mandram served as a place for dispensing justice. Students, in civil cases, the method of trial followed was to call upon plaintiff to thrust his hand. That is, The punishment was always severe. It is said to be that cobra bite him. If the cobra is bite the thief means he was sentenced. If the cobra did not bite him, he considered as a innocent. Now let's see the local administration of Sangam polity. The entire kingdom was called Mandalam. Pattinam means coastal town. Puhar, harbour town. Important towns were Puhar, Urayur, Korkai, Madurai, Musiri, Vanji or Karur and then Kanchi. Mandalam was divided into Nadus and the subdivision of Nadu is Kurm. Students, the entire kingdom was called Mandalam. See, as you already know that the village was a fundamental unit of administration. So, the entire kingdom was called Mandalam. Below the Mandalam, a major division was called Nadu. Mandalam was divided into Nadus. Kurm was a subdivision of a Nadu. The Ur was a town, that is Perur. A village, small village is called as Sirur or an old village, Mudur. Pattinam was the name for a coastal town and Puhar was a harbour area. And then Puhar, Urayur, Korkai, Madurai, Musiri, Vanji or Karur and Kanchi are important towns in the Sangam age. Now let's see the important towns. Puhar, Urayur, Madurai, Musiri, Karur or Vanchi and then Kanchi. Now let's see the geographical areas of Sangam polity. Thinai tract based on Sangam polity. The landform was divided into 5 Thinais. They are Kurunji, Marudam, Mullai, Neidal and Palai. Now let's see the geographical areas of Kurunji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal and Palai. Ecoregion Kurunji. Kurunji Thinai. The area were called as hilly regions. The occupation of Kurunji people were hunting and gathering. The people who were lived in the Kurunji region were called as Kuravar and Kuratiyar. They worshipped Murugan, the god Murugan. And then Mullai Thinai. The area occupied in Mullai region is forest. Their occupation is herding and the people who were lived in the Mullai region were called as Ayar and Aichiyar. They worshipped Mayan. And then Marudam region. The area were riverine tract, that is plains. Their occupation was agriculture. The people who were lived in the Marudam region were called as Ulavan and Ulatiyar. They worshipped Indiran. And then Neidal region. The area were coastal areas and the people occupation were fishing and salt making. The people who were lived in the Neidal region is Paratavar and Nuladiyar. And they worshipped Varunan. Palai region. The area were parched lands. The people who worked in the Palai region were heroic deeds. The people who lived in the Palai region were Maravar and Marathiyar. And they worshipped Kotravai. Now let's see the status of women. Students, there was no restriction for the women in social life. There were learned and wise women. 40 women poets had lived and left behind the valuable works. Marriage was a matter of self-choice. However, chastity was considered the highest virtue of women. Chastity is nothing but karpu. In Tamil, they said as karpu. Sons and daughters had equal shares in their parents' property. Now let's see the women poets of Sangam age. Avvaiyar, Velli Veethiyar, Kakai Padiniyar, Adi Manthiyar, Ponmudiyar. Now let's see the religious belief and social divisions. The primary deity of the Tamil was Seyon or Murugan. The other gods worshipped during Sangam period were Sivan, Mayon, that is Vishnu, Indiran, Varunan and Kottravai. The hero stone, Nadukal, worship was in practice and Buddhism and Jainism also coexisted. In that period, caste did not develop in Tamilagam as it did in the northern India. Varna system, occupation based caste came to the Dravidan through comparatively late. Now let's see the dress and ornaments of Sangam polity. The Sangam Tamils paid more attention to the dress. It varied according to the status. The rich wore silk and fine cotton garments. The middle class people generally wore two pieces of cloths made of cotton. And the women paid much attention to their hairstyle. The Sangam literature refers to the cloths, which were thinner than the thick of a snake, Kalingam. Students, women adorned their hair plates with flowers. They used flowers like jasmine to decorate the plaits and tufts. Both men and women used perfumes made of sandal and flowers. The Sangam literature refers to a variety of ornaments worn by both men and women. They were made of gold, silver, pearls, and precious stones. Poor people used ornaments made of shells and beads. Students, women adorned their hair plates with flowers. Both men and women wore a variety of ornaments. They were made of gold, silver, pearls, precious stones, conch shells, and beads. The people were fond of using aromatic perfumes. Now let's see the arts of Sangam polity. There are many references to variety of musical instruments such as drum, flute and yard. Karigalan was master of 7 notes of music, that is Edisai Vallavan. Students, in the Sangam age, musicians, stage artists and performance entertained the kings, the nobility, the rich and the general population. Groups of performance include players of the Tuda who beat drums and performed Kutu, a stage drama in dance form, as well as proclaiming the king's announcement. And then dancing was performed by the Kannagiyar. Kuthu, folk drama, was the most important cultural practice of the people of Sangam age. They included the concept of Muttamil, that is Iyal, Isai and Nadagam. Together with the poets, that is Pulavar and the academic scholars, these people of talent appear to originate from all walks of life, irrespective of the native profession. Now let's see the occupation of Sangam polity. The major occupations of the people were agriculture, cattle rearing, fishing and hunting. Other craftsmen like carpenter, blacksmith, goldsmith and potters were also part of the population. Weaving was the most common part-time occupation of the farmers and a regular full-time job for many others. Now let's see the festivals and entertainments of Sangam polity. People celebrated several festivals like the Harvest Festival, Pongal and the festival of spring, Kartigai, were some of them. Indravira was celebrated in the capital. Indra festival had been celebrated annually at Puhar. The dance and music had its religious connotation from the earliest time. There were many amusements and games. That is included dances, festivals, bullfights, cockfights, dice, hunting, wrestling and playing in swings. Children played with toy cart and with the sand houses made by them. Students, the economy of the Sangam age, that is, agriculture was the chief occupation where rice was the most common crop. The handicraft including weaving, metalworks and carpentry, shipbuilding and making of ornaments using beads, stones and ivory. These were in great demand of all above products in the internal and external trade, as this was its peak during the Sangam period. Pongal, the festival of harvest and spring, to thanking the Lord Sun, comes on January 14th and 15th. Indravira, the festival for want of rain, celebrated for 1 full month starting from the full moon in later named Chittirai. Chittirai and completed on the full moon in Vaigasi, which coincides with the Buddha Purnima. Now let's see the trading system in Sangam polity. In the beginning of the Sangam age, the barter system of trade was followed. Trade existed at 3 levels: local, overland and overseas. Generally, the people exchanged their commodities with the neighbors. For example, the people of Kurinji region exchanged honey with the people of Neithal region for getting fish and salt. Likewise, the Mullai people gave their milk products to Marudam people to get rice from them. The extensive and lucrative foreign trade that Tamilagam enjoyed during this period stands testimony to the fact that Tamils had been great seafarers. Warehouses for storing the goods were built along the coast. There were 2 kinds of markets or bazaars in the leading cities like Puhar and Madurai. In Madurai, there were Nalangadi, the morning bazaar, and Alangadi, the evening bazaar. In these markets, large varieties as well as large quantities of goods were sold and purchased. The major ports, Musiri, Tondi and Kurkai, and the main exports were salt, pepper, pearls, ivory silk, diamonds, saffron, precious stones, muslin, sandalwood, and the main imports were topaz, tin, wine, glass, horses. Students, the port city of Puhar became an important place of foreign trade, as big ships entered this port containing precious goods. And the other significant ports of commercial activity were Tondi, Musiri, Korkai, Arikamedu and Marakkanam. Students, in that period, many gold and silver coins that were issued by the Roman emperors like Augustus, Tiberius and Nero. And then the major exports of the Sangam age were cotton fabrics and spices like pepper, ginger, cardamom, cinnamon and turmeric, along with ivory products like pearls and precious stones. The major imports for the traders were horses, gold and sweet wine. Archaeological sources. Hero stones. During Sangam age, memorial stones were erected for the heroes who died for their village, country or king. These stones were also a part of the burial. Some hero stones are inscription describing the hero. The ancient Tamils had a great respect for the heroes who died in the battlefield. It was called as Veerakal or Nadukal. The hero stones were erected to commemorate heroes who sacrificed their lives in war. Now let's see the decline of Sangam polity and the rise of Kalabras. Towards the end of the 3rd century AD, the Sangam period slowly went into a decline. Following the Sangam period, the Kalabras had occupied the Tamil country for about 2.5 centuries. We have very little information about the Kalabras. They left neither artifacts nor monuments, but there is evidence of their rule in literary text. The literary sources for this period include Tamil Navala Charitai, Epankalam and Periya Puranam. Sivaga Sindhamani and Kundalakesi were also written during this period. In Tamilagam, Jainism and Buddhism became prominent during this period. Introduction of Sanskrit and Prakrit language. So, the Kalabra period is not a dark age as it is portrayed. The Kalabra dynasty ruled over the entire ancient Tamil country between the 3rd and the 7th century in an era of social Indian history called the Kalabra Interganam. The Kalabra displays the kingdoms of the early Cholas, early Pandyas and Chera dynasty by a revolt. Now let's see today's activity. Students, take your social map drawing book and mark the following places: Korkai, Kavari Pumbattinam, Musiri, Urayur and Madurai.